Welcome, Immortal Beloveds, to the Dawna Cosmic Podcast, where we discuss what it means to live multidimensional with authenticity. Let's go. In today's episode, I'm speaking to the deadly I'm a body belief. This one belief causes a host of unnecessary evils. One evil in particular is self-criticism. We'll beat ourselves up or reject ourselves for anything or everything. And then we mentally do it to others. Prior to accepting my divinity, I've done it. And I dare say any being that has a body has definitely done it. Sooner or later, though, we smarten up because we realize that when we allow false mental voices to control us or allow other people's voices to rent out space in our heads for free, we limit and imprison only ourselves. The joke's on us until we stop doing that. What's interesting is when we're self-rejecting, most times no one else around us knows because we hide it so well. We can be especially good at hiding it from ourselves. We'll skip along on our journey while feeling like crap in some ways, and because we've hidden the self-criticism from ourselves so well, we have no real idea why we feel so off. Welcome to faulty subconscious programming. It's not fun. So in this episode, I'm going to shed light on what this self-rejecting, self-disapproving energy could look or sound like when it's leaking its way into the higher realms within us as we ascend deeper, because we can put a stop to it. It's all about conditioning or programming. On the earth plane, we are conditioned that we're a body, and for a while, we buy into that idea as a belief, at least until our DNA codes start unlocking and outright defying the entire paradigm thought structure of conditioning we were given about what we are. Which, by the way, DNA unlocking is no walk in the park. Anyone that's done the walk knows the walk is work. Let's keep going. When the DNA codes are in unlock phase, we're liberated from many lower dimensional energies automatically. However, each state of consciousness carries with it what I'll call its own thought emotion cluster. And if we are to be truly free, we have to release cluster energies to continue to deepen in frequency. Thought energy at the higher state is no different than the lower realms. It's just repackaged. It's the same energy as, say, I thought I gave it all I could, did it all I could, said all I could, so they would see the light, and nothing's changed. What's wrong with me? What did I do wrong, and how can I fix it? Then we proceed with beating ourselves up. While the heavenly realms, and yes, there are many, the cluster of self-disapproval shows up more subtle. The energies are hidden basically until, against the backdrop of the higher frequency state, they eventually stick out like a sore thumb. That's why we don't actually have to drain our energy by digging for anything to clear out. It'll show. A more productive use of our energy to clear out would be to do what Al-Anon calls a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. If you consider going this route, keep in mind, this inventory specifies the word fearless. Bringing self-criticism at the higher vibrational states out of theory and into the concrete, I'll use myself as an example. In my personal experience, I was witnessing a loved one deal with such a toxic individual, what anyone would define as evil. And what do you think showed up for me? Correct. I began to feel responsible, to take it on, to self-reject. Why is this still happening? When will this stop? I thought I took care of this. I thought I broke all toxic cycles when I clawed my way out of that hell. All I was really doing in that moment was saying that I stunk as an alchemist. I felt angry and I was rejecting myself just as I had at the lower levels. Except this was on the deepest levels, divine, subtle levels. Yet I had reproduced the same energetic results: despair, sadness, pain. And those worn out energies were my indicator to end the story right then and there. Period. Nothing to solve or figure out. Released. Done. As a master alchemist, I realize I am only ever dealing with principalities and powers, never form. And I cannot ever solve any issue from the same level it was created. So, as far as clusters go, we need to be aware that because we are multidimensional beings, the cluster will always shift to match whatever we are identifying with or as in our current vibratory state. A higher order self rejection, besides what I personally experience, can look or sound like this also. I thought I broke that generational curse. Or because an outcome shows up that is different than our set intention, it sounds more like I've failed at being a master of divine alchemy. And we welcome that self rejection energy with open arms. Next thing, we're scrambling back to our alchemical lab in attempts to let me go and try to figure out where my concoction failed or what can I do to fix this. We doubt our alchemy. That's what we are doing. It's the exact same doubt energy of lower consciousness states. And of course, the idea that we can even fix something is unrealistic, but the mind entertains it anyway. Now, because unseen energy is instantaneous, denser energy, the world of substance, can give the illusion of delay, remaining as light while witnessing denser energies play out, meaning watching the delay, whether those moving pictures are personal or of the world, can feel entirely upsetting. Not even going to lie. Just know this initial feel has nothing to do with permanence. Nothing. Appearances playing out are residuals, temporary moving pictures. In familiar words, this too shall pass. When we become attached to the temporary moving picture that is sure to pass, that's where stuckness can happen vibrationally. If that happens, we have the ability also to bring ourselves out of it. The most important job or function as a master alchemist is to remain open as a vessel for truth to flow and pour through. And there's no way that's happening when we self reject or self doubt at any state of consciousness. I'm mentioning this because Spirit showed me some of us who have ascended to this particular level of awareness, this frequency, are getting stuck in that same old self rejection energy that's wearing a different costume. And we don't have to be stuck there. We don't have to be stuck on moving pictures either. We can trust our alchemy is correct, that our potions are correct. And we don't have to make repeated trips back to the lab. You know why? Because our alchemy is motivated by love and a pure heart. Going back to the example of my experience, after I had felt that crappy vibe, you know the one, I sat with the vibe and got silent, which allowed me to release it. And then truth revealed itself. And the truth is, I did break that cycle. I know for sure my bloodline is cleared. It's done. That toxicity in my bloodline is complete. That energy lives no more. I don't need to look to the material world for confirmation, only feedback, so that I can co create more precisely. I must know, I must trust, and I do. And the truth is, I did break that cycle. I know for sure my bloodline is cleared. It's done. That toxicity in my bloodline is complete. That energy lives no more. Take hard note of this. We are the heart activated ones. When coming from our purity, we do no wrong. No matter what mental tapes say or what form or appearances may dictate, doubting ourselves only stops us from being authentic, and it's not time for that anymore. In closing, allowing self-rejection and self-doubt energies to cross over and live with us at the higher realms, or getting stuck vibrationally on moving pictures, will only drag our frequency down, giving us the exact opposite of what we have literally busted our butts for. Well, sharing this with you today feels absolutely great, and I intend this episode's message helps you on your cosmic path. This concludes my Dawna Cosmic podcast for today.
It's a pleasure having you here, and thanks for tuning in. Watch for your questions answered in future episodes. For deprogramming help, find my pattern breaking and spell breaking books at lulu.com. I help free people from mental prisons. Leave here today with this truth: break program, live authentic, because the alternative is an option for failure. If not now, when? See you at the next episode. Love and prosperity.